I guess so. You guys aren't frozen anymore, so.
Yay!
Hi, everybody. I'm Dani.
And I'm Ava.
And welcome to another live discussion with Fave. Oof. Where do we even begin? I'm Dani. Give me 1 second. I got so excited I started playing myself. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So, welcome to another live discussion with Fave. I don't even know where do we even begin to describe today's special guests. I guess you could call them one of Army's MVP heavy hitters. What originally started as a fan base with one admin repping the West Coast BTS fans is today a nonprofit organization catering to armies all across the United States.
With the mission to inspire, celebrate, and spread BTS's message of love and acceptance to ARMY and any others who cross their path, and their vision to support BTS and provide excellent and relevant information about them to ARMY and the general public, they have earned their title as a reliable source for all the fans in the United States.
You say updates, voting tutorials, concert tips, archived videos, ARMY dictionary, they have really dedicated so much so ARMY could basically love BTS to the best of their abilities, all while having fun. The first USA-focused BTS fan base to exist and run by big-hearted admins with big love for both ARMY and BTS. Welcome, US BTS ARMY.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having us.
Would you like to introduce yourselves? Specifically?
Sure. So I'm Imelda, and I am the current president and founder of US BTS ARMY.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. I am Jackie, and I am our current Chief Financial Officer. And yeah, I work a little bit on Facebook. It's really fun.
Okay, thank you, ladies. So we're going to go ahead and jump straight in. If anybody has any questions, you can hit it down in YouTube and I'll try to read them for them so they can catch it. But once again, thank you so much for making the time. You two are definitely busy ladies. So thank you for that. Go ahead, Ava. How about you get started?
Okay, so the first question is, when did you discover BTS and what was that experience like for you?
Well, for me, I discovered BTS actually during their debut performance on M Countdown. And it was completely accidental. I had just gotten into K-pop like about a year ago, and I was watching and consuming anything and everything, and I discovered the music shows. So I was watching just to watch. There wasn't like one specific artist, I want to say, that I was focused on. And their debut stage happened. And I just remember being so enraptured and like, oh my God, I haven't seen a K-pop group like this before. And, and it kind of just started from there. And I dug into who they were and I ate up all the content. And here we are 8 years later.
What about you, Jackie?
I joined a little later, at the end of 2016, I think. One of my coworkers at work loved J-pop, and she would play it at work all the time. And then K-pop started making its way into the playlist, and we wanted to go to a concert. And it just so happened that BTS was the closest concert in New York, so we went to see Wings. I live really close to DC, so we drove to Newark. On a whim. We had flashcards in the car with the members' names. Tried to memorize their names and who they were. And yeah, our seats were all the way in the back, but it was the best performance I have ever seen. Like I was sitting like with a banner all the way in the back of the arena. Yeah, it was great. And I have been here ever since. It was awesome.
Oh my God, Ava, doesn't that sound precious? Well, you both just said
yes, that's the best way to discover them.
You guys just basically said that everything was kind of like by accident on a whim, and I'm just thinking about the fact that their debut stage was also technically not supposed to happen, and it did. And it warms my heart knowing that you guys all just came together coincidentally. That's so cool. Go ahead, Ava. I didn't mean to interrupt. That's just so cool.
It's fine. So the next question is, what is it like to see BTS grow and be where they are now?
Oof. Unbelievable, mind-blowing, like a bunch of different words come to mind. It's incredible. It's definitely something that I didn't, it's just surprising that it happened, just because I never ever assumed that they would get this big, or that this many people would ever love them, or that they would really just be making history and changing history. And it's just incredible to witness and to see that.
So inspirational. They've come so far and they're still going. It's awesome.
I see that it took you guys a minute to even form a sentence. It's a bit undescribable when people dive into realizing where exactly they started. You guys must be so proud.
Unbelievably.
Well, with that in mind, with humble beginnings and all that, you guys started as one of the first, actually the first US fan base for ARMY and BTS. Can you explain to the audience the process on how you started that and what it's been like to see that fan base grow from beginning to now? We talked about BTS, but what about the fan base?
Well, we started in April of 2014. And it really was just kind of supposed to be this fun little side project. Like, genuinely, it was, I was new to K-pop, been in it about a year, and content was really hard to access back then. It was so much harder to access because everything was on the Korean sites and it was in Korean. I mean, obviously, but it was still really hard to access as an international fan. And I had a couple of other friends who did run things like Fanbase on Twitter and on social media. And I had a friend encourage me, like, just, hey, why don't you just start it for BTS? Like, just start one, and all you do is update on their schedule and help people access this stuff. And it genuinely kind of did just start from that. It was, I didn't want anyone to not like BTS because maybe their stuff was too hard to access, or the content was, hard to find, or they couldn't read it. And it really was kind of just like, let's do this small Twitter account to promote BTS and help out other fans in the US who might need the help. And it was never supposed to be what it is. Genuinely, it really was just something that was on the side, something fun. And as they got bigger, we got bigger, and it's just, we wouldn't be where we are without the amazing admins that we have on the fan base. All of our admins do such incredible work every single day, and they work so hard for the fan base, for BTS, for ARMY, that it's just, I'm incredibly mind blown that this little idea that I had just kind of, so many people were perceptive to it and genuinely believe in it as much as I do. And it's something that I try not to take for granted every single day.
Thank you for just giving it a shot, honestly. Jackie, I don't know if you want to hop in there, because you did mention that you joined in somewhere in 2016. And that's kind of where people assumed that we had hit the climax as ARMY. And now we just keep growing.
We keep going
from there. And people seem to have this misunderstanding, and I'm not sure where it started, but maybe because it's a little hard to believe. But BTS along with BTS ARMY did start out, in comparison to today, really super tiny. So I'm not sure where they got that, but in comparison, you came in 2016. You, Imelda, have been here since 2014. No, predate. Oh my God! Yeah. And we thought 2016 was big. So Jackie, seeing 2016, thinking it's already huge, what do you think now?
Oh my goodness gracious, it's insane. It's awesome. When I joined, actually, one of the reasons actually why I created a Twitter account was because of BTS, because I wanted to have access to the content. and to get in touch with other fans and have that sense of community. And one of the reasons why I actually even applied to be an admin of US BTS ARMY is actually because of their website. Being on Twitter and trying to find information, I needed a place that had everything, broken down, factual, where to watch, what time to watch, the time conversion. And I wanted to make an impact. And it's grown exponentially. We are so ARMY. It's a huge fandom now, and it's incredible.
Glad to hear it. Oh, before we continue to the next question, and thank you, Jackie. Shout out to Sushi Bar 25. Just wanted to say that they mentioned hello. First time BTS concert goer here. Would love tips on the merch lines. I hear that it's incredibly long and you can spend hours there. Stick around. We'll be discussing those concert tips relatively soon. We got some veterans here. Go ahead, Ava.
So, speaking about the website, it's dedicated to keeping fans up to date on the latest news regarding BTS and ARMY. In addition, the site is also a resource for ARMYs on best etiquette, ARMY dictionary, how to vote, fan chants, and so much more. Why is it important to you to help fans find these resources and understand them?
I mean, it definitely comes from a place of, we've seen a lot of misinformation, and it's really easy for people to say one thing and it may get taken out of context and people roll with it, or just people misunderstand stuff. And we just want to make sure that there's somewhere that other ARMY can go to, where they know whatever we share is because we've done the research and we did our work and we looked up sources and we learned how to do it, and that it's all factual based as much as we can do it. Our website is definitely our head of content design. That is her baby. She has started it from the ground up, and that is all her. Shout out to Grace, because genuinely she is the one who has put all of the work and effort into that. And now now she has a website team. So we're hoping to improve our website and add more content and more info for people. But really, it's just, we want to make sure that ARMY have all of the info that they need for whatever, and we figured, why not have one place where whatever answer you're looking for, you can go and find it.
It's a wealth of knowledge. Even if you're, wondering, what happened in previous years, or, merch from previous concerts, anything and everything, it's right in there. It's amazing.
Okay. Shout out to the both of you. Like, I got some comments coming in regarding you guys building this website and your reason for it. You have someone, Chelsea Eisenhower. I hope I said that right. The website is amazing. Thank you so much for that resource. Sushi Bar up in this town again. As a relatively new ARMY, I was so happy to have found US BTS ARMY as a resource. Thank you. So that's so nice. See, I bet I'm from the get-go, I've never heard you guys talk about yourselves on Twitter, Instagram, or anything. It's pretty obvious that you guys are modest, but no doubt in my mind that you guys have realized how much of a big help the site and you guys as an organization are. So I would imagine it continues to be your own self-motivation, right?
I mean, honestly, some of my favorite things is sometimes we get emails, because we have like a contact form on our webpage. Sometimes we do get emails from people who, it's like, we had a lady once, I believe she was like a grandma, and she said, my granddaughters got into BTS and I found your guys' website and I was able to use it, and now that we all bond over BTS together, so thank you guys for the website and the resource. So it genuinely is those emails and those messages. So, like, it means a lot, because we put our heart and soul into this, and to see that people genuinely like it and it works for them, and that it's doing what we want it to do, it means the world to us, so thank you. Like, we genuinely appreciate all the kind words, and it really is, that's what makes this great, is to see how all this work that we do can help so many different people.
I'm going back and forth. These I can go on and on. Like I'm just gonna read their names so they know that I've read it. You got G Bear, you got Taylor Lynn, CP, Brianna Hardy, and Sandy Prasad, YX J Cook, and I think Jilliana. But all of them, but besides a bunch of purple hearts, are just like, I love that you have the LA concert page. I'm not I love you guys so much and appreciate you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for your hard work and effort. Obviously, people appreciate it. So, way to go. And, the website is obviously not the only thing that you guys have worked on. You stay busy for several other reasons too. You've worked on so many different projects throughout the years, from hosting a booth at KCON all the way back in 2014. You were handing out banners for various performances, to teaching fans the fan chant. Thank you. That I would have been so embarrassed my first time. And you've even collaborated with other fans to create a documentary called Forever Bulletproof, 7th anniversary documentary. Tell us, why do you enjoy participating in these projects? And can you share what is so meaningful about them?
I think it's awesome to work with other Army. I think besides us being amazing fans, we're also very diverse in our expertise, in our knowledge, our backgrounds. And it's amazing to surround yourself with people who have awesome and better skills than you do. And when you're putting together something like a documentary, that's also another one of Gracie's babies that she worked really hard on. And putting it together and working on it together, making a plan and working with other fan bases. Teamwork is truly the essence of Army. We all work as a team, so it was amazing to work on those projects together.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the Forever Bulletproof documentary that we did with it was all other fan bases, and we reached out and they were game, and we every single fan base did their research, and it was a labor of love, absolutely. But all of the other fan bases that participated with us, and it was amazing. And just being able to work with other fans to create like content that people enjoy and respond to is awesome. And it brings us together as a community and as fans, as friends. It's one of the things that I enjoy the most about what we do.
And for sure, if you have not watched it yet, please go to our YouTube page. It is awesome.
A total tearjerker if you're like me, like sentimental, like, oh my god, look how awesome everybody is. But I'm getting more purple hearts, aside from all the thank you so much and love you guys so much for doing this. Very excited to participate in the fan chants. Thank you so much for the fan chants. You have people that are familiar with your work. To anyone who's going to see them for the first time, you're going to have such a great time. And I think we might end up getting into this more. But Imelda and Jackie, how do we get more involved with US BTS ARMY? You all are awesome. I feel like I found my people and would love to be more involved. How is there a way that people can become more involved with you guys?
With us, I mean, we are we do recruit volunteers from time to time. So I would definitely suggest keep an eye out on our social media for when we do recruit admins and volunteers. But yeah, thank you so much for, but it really is just, we have streaming parties, and you can participate in our streaming parties and check out our websites and our giveaways and all the fun projects that we do. We love to engage with our followers as much as we can on social media too. Cause we're not anything more than anybody else is. We're Army, just like everybody else. And I feel like that's something that, I'm not any greater than the next fan just because I started in 2013. Like, we all do what we can, and we're all Army, and we're all equal in every way. So it's, just however, like if you want to volunteer, if that's something you're into, keep out on our social media for when we recruit volunteers. I will tell you that, no, it is work. We do a lot of work. But yeah, that's one way I would suggest.
And don't forget, guys, sometimes spreading the word for what USBTS Army has done helps a lot because they emphasize a lot of teamwork, not only amongst themselves, but they again have mentioned that Army is the reason that they're able to do all this. So if you feel like you can't contribute, I mean this with peace and love. You're absolutely wrong. Spread the word. You'd be so surprised how many more armies can still find out lots more about US BTS Army. Like even this, for example, this site helps so much with time conversions. It's so much amazing information all gathered in one place. I even added their calendar to mine, so it keeps me updated.
Yeah.
See, I know you're giggling, but the thing is that there are still so many people that instead of like going to Google, they're commenting on my posts like, so what time is that in California? It's like go to USBTS Army
On the website.
Yeah, and that is another reason too of why anytime we post on our social media accounts, we include each time zone, just because those time conversions, they're annoying. They're so annoying. Like, and then we have things like today where it was daylight savings time where it throws it off, and it's like you're so used to 1 hour, and now it's like, oh, JK, now it's 7 instead of 8, and it's I get it.
Did I miss something? There's quite a few people talking about the hip hop whale in the museum is so cool.
Oh,
hip hop whale is the best.
So for
Please
BTS,
explain so the audience can go see hip hop whale.
For BTS's 8th anniversary, well, actually, for BTS's 8th anniversary, we did a project where we did like a virtual museum, and we decorated the museum according to like each era, and we posted pictures. But at the very back, one of our one of our graphic designers, she actually created kind of like a little unofficial mascot for us. And his name is Harold the Hip Hop Whale.
Yes.
And he has like a gold chain on, and he's got like his little snapback on. And
Gangsta Whale.
Yeah.
Repping 2013.
Yes, he's repping the 2013.
He would have fit in right in.
Vibes. So yeah, that's Harold. Yeah. So we're glad you guys like Harold. We love him. He's and Harold does have outfit changes. He has a couple. Yes. He has a couple of different designs now. So he's not just Harold the Hip Hop Whale. I believe we gave him a cowboy hat, didn't we?
Yes, for permission to dance.
For permission to dance. So he does have a couple outfit changes. But yeah, that's Harold.
I'm sorry, guys. It was very like Harold is more than just hip hop.
That's right. There's depth to Harold.
Yes, he is.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for educating me. Oh, for those of you that just came in and are a little sad for missing the beginning, this will be posted afterwards, so you guys won't miss anything. And of course, if you have any questions, I bet you that if you leave them in the comments, they'll come back to answer for you. So don't you worry. All right, Ava, would you like to continue? Me and my mouth kept going. I was just so excited.
So earlier we mentioned that we thought 2016 was, one of the highest points for the fandom in BTS. The fandom gets bigger every day, and it can be overwhelming for new fans to navigate in all the content and information. What advice do you have for the new fans on how to enjoy the fandom experience and all the BTS content?
Pace yourselves. There's a lot, honestly. And you know what makes you feel good or what you like to watch, and no one else can tell you otherwise. Pick what you like. There's a lot.
I would definitely say too is find your reliable sources. Find reliable people, find reliable sources. It can be really easy to get caught up in social media and all of, and everybody talking and stuff. So I always tell people, curating your timeline is really important. Find people that you can rely on and their information is accurate. And just, like Jackie said, really honestly, pace yourself. There is so much content to get through. And I feel like a thing with the new armies is they feel like they have to like speed through all of this stuff to catch up. But like there's time, you know, you don't have to get all through it in a day, and pace yourself and go through it slowly. And you know, it's kind of beautiful in the way that you get to rediscover all of this stuff and you get to experience it for the first time. Like that in of itself is a beautiful experience, is getting to see BTS content and experiencing it for the first time, no matter how old it is. You only get that once, you know? So take your time, go slowly, experience it, you know, and don't feel like you have to know everything and see everything or own everything to be, you know, a part of this fandom.
It's true. And I'm honestly, I am still a year and a half behind on Run BTS. It's a fact of life.
We started in 2016, girl. There's a ton of
so
stuff.
much.
I also don't do well with secondhand embarrassment, so you know I be taking like 20-minute breaks 3 times throughout an episode.
Yeah, there's a lot. So just just pace yourself and enjoy it. Like enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey. It's so nice. So just enjoy it.
Very nice. I think this goes in line with this comment. It's either Brianna or Brianna. I'll say both. But it made me tear up a little when Imelda said it doesn't matter when you join. We are all Army. And in connection with that, again, take your time. You don't want being in Army to feel kind of like an obligation. It really is an experience, just like Imelda said.
Absolutely.
You know, I have a few of you here that are a lot of like, this is my first time going to a BTS concert. I'm going alone, feeling a little afraid. Will there be special projects? Will there be a banner project? We'll get to it, sweeties. I promise you. We got you covered. I'm not as prepared as these two are, but we do our best. We do our absolute best. So with that, it was announced, and pay attention, honeys. It was announced that BTS was nominated for the PCAs and AMAs. You know, first Korean act to be nominated for Artist of the Year. Hey! Do you have any advice for fans on how to vote and where they can go for a step-by-step guide? Because I feel like this is kind of stuff that scares people. But what would you say?
It can be really daunting. It can be really daunting because there's different rules for different awards. So my recommendation is go to our website. Honestly, check out, you know, if you want to find out what the AMAs, click the search, you know, little icon, type AMAs. It'll give you the year, you know, and it'll give you how to vote, you know, what time to do it. For the PCAs as well, there's like a turbo hour, turbo day. Just go in there and check it out. That's because honestly, quite frankly, I use it almost every day. It's a big resource.
Yeah, anything and everything you guys need to know about voting. We do our best to, you know, we have a research team who genuinely does the research and compiles it all together to make sure that whatever info we're sharing with Army is accurate and factual based. So not to plug our own website, but definitely check out our website. It's, you know, step-to-step guide on how to do all of this voting.
I'll toot that horn for you. Oh, what is US BTS Army's YouTube channel?
US BTS ARMY.
I know that's what I was like.
It's pretty,
Stay consistent, guys.
We try to make it the same across all social media platforms, just to make us easy to find.
Mm-hmm. And you guys can rest assured that in the description of this video, you guys will find all of their contact. Don't you worry. Let's see. Oh, banner project. I didn't mean to scare anybody. There might be, but don't worry. We'll figure it out towards the end of this video. So, but there seems to be a lot of you that are very worried about your first concert. It seems to be quite a bit of you that haven't been there in a while, or actually have probably been there and still need tips. So how about we transition to those concert tips and advice? And if I spot anything from previously, I'll make sure to ask the question. Go ahead, Ava. Bring us in.
Okay. So, about what we all just said, if you guys want to get onto any of that info, their website is very helpful. So, recommend you guys go check out their website. And it can also prove to be super helpful when it comes to prepping for a concert. especially if it's your first time.
So, wow, you did that so professionally. Ava kind of left me. The PTD concert in LA is coming up soon. A whole bunch of things have happened since the tickets went on sale. Thank you, Ticketmaster. First, what are some checklist items Army should have when attending the concert?
Well, funny enough, not to keep plugging our website, but we actually do have a concert survival checklist up on our site that gives you a list of the things that you will most likely require during the concert. And some of the things on that list are in guidelines with what I don't know if it's SoFi or Sophie. Don't kill me, but I don't know if it's SoFi Stadium or Sophie Stadium, but we have included some things that they have in their guidelines as well. So for this concert specifically, I think like they require either a COVID vaccination or a COVID test, the clear bag policy. Definitely you want to take a portable charger if you have one. Also, Jackie made a very good point to remind me. It's the end of November, but it's still sunny in California, and sunburns are a thing. So sunblock, because it is an open stadium, it is outside. So but money, I would make sure you have money, cash, and cards, just because some places, some certain might not take, it might be either or. Before, yeah, I don't like Jackie. Do you have anything else to add?
Tell me about the sunburn, Jackie.
When you are outside and you are either waiting in line, having a good time with your friends, chatting it up, all of a sudden you get inside and you're burnt. It's happened to me a couple of times that I have been to California to a BTS concert. No regrets. I would honestly say when you are outside, take a water bottle, like a sealed water bottle, because when you're outside and you're chatting it up, you want to make sure that you're hydrated.
And make sure you take disposable things. Yeah, and don't take like your fancy Starbucks cup, because they'll make you throw it away before you go into the concert. So make sure you're taking disposable. And that includes everything. Honestly, like whatever you take, make sure that you're not attached to it. Because I have had to throw purses away because it was too big to fit the stadium's policy. So definitely make sure you read up on the stadium policy when it comes to bags, purses, all of that. But, that's also all up on our website.
Oh, speaking of your website, how about a detailed description just for people? It says, where can I find the checklist?
Go on the top.
So if you go on our website, we have like the search option. You can just type in like concert survival checklist or Army survival checklist. I think it's concert survival checklist, and the link should pop up to it. If not, I do believe it's under the Army Hub category.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's right under Army etiquette.
There you go.
Oh, I love those two words put together. Someone asked this question, but if you guys want to answer it, by all means. In regard to floor seats, are there typically standing only, or are there actual seats? And should one be worried about people pushing each other near the barricades? We did have that situation as of late with that tragedy, and it's not only on Instagram and on Twitter, but this seems to have hurt a lot of people and worried a lot of people what can happen at Army concerts. But let's answer that question first. At SoFi, will GA be seated? Do you happen to know?
Yes, all seats are seated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, everybody in the comments, everybody's watching, anybody watching in the future, hello, this is Past Dani. There have been occasions where GA doesn't have seats, and people can get to pushing, but from my experience starting in 2016 up, thanks to sites such as US BTS ARMY and other sites where we really encourage good etiquette among armies, it has gotten significantly better. People are less offended when you tell them, hey, don't push. We've had a concert where Jungkook asked RM to tell people, don't push. And
Safety
you
first,
are the
safety second, safety third.
yes. So treat others the way you want to be treated. Don't fall for the whole thing that social media still compares us to crazy little girls, because little girls can still have plenty of etiquette too. It's just about being a decent human being. If someone is wild and out on you, don't do it back. You can put them in their place or ask a grown up to put them in their place if you need me to. I'll be that grown up for you. But as far as I'm concerned, for the most part, we're highly respectful of each other when we go to concerts. Anybody want to add anything?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it's as of now, it's all seated. I will tell you this though, because most people don't realize this. We're talking by seated. Most likely, again, I've never been to a concert at I'm gonna say SoFi. If I'm saying it wrong, guys, I apologize, but that's how I'm gonna say it.
I vote SoFi.
I've never been to a concert at SoFi, so I don't know how seating works on the floor seats, but at the other stadiums that I have been to, they're just lawn chairs. They're white, foldable plastic lawn chairs that are zip tied together in rows. So it's still like normal seating. They just happen to be white plastic lawn chairs that are zip tied together. And I don't mean like the square ones that have armrests. I mean just the foldable chairs with no armrests. But it is seated, and for the most part, people do a really, really great job of staying in their seats, and security is walking up and down those aisles. So, if you do feel like someone is stepping over or just pushing or encroaching in your space or anything like that, go ask, go talk to security or, speak to someone if you have to. But, I don't think we've ever had like an issue, even when general floor was open. For the most part, everyone has been pretty great.
And I hope nobody is made to feel as though you might be snitching if you have to tell security. Please don't feel that way. Because their right to act a fool is also going against your right to have a good time. So it definitely cancels out. Just don't be afraid to mention it. There are people giving a little bit of experience advice in the comments. For example, they say the last tour people were seated and they had just like you mentioned, they had attendants watching and making sure everything was going okay. Let's see. The last concert, Rolling Stones, they had floor seats. Very good.
The last what, 2 world tours they've had, the floor seats have been actual seats. Yeah.
The last time that there were no seats was Citi Field, I think, and that was a while ago.
Yeah, was yep.
That's where you and I met. In person for the first time.
In person for the first time. We've been working together for like what?
I know.
A year, 2 years.
And a half, 2 years.
The first time we met in person.
That's so sweet.
It was special.
I do want to add something though about this is just based on my personal experience. I've never actually been to a BTS concert, which is unfortunate. But a different concert I did go to, something that did happen, which I just want to like put out there. I was they had the seats like you were talking about with no the armrest. It was just the normal lawn chairs. During encore, the group was taking seats and everyone rushed to the front, even though there were seats. And so in case that does happen, that is a thing to be worried about, because I was front row and I got pushed up against the stage and got crushed. So in case that does happen, that's just something to be aware of if that does end up happening.
Yes, that is a good point. Although I totally believe that armies care about each other's safety, sometimes emotions run high and you kind of just forget. So stay mindful. 25-8 and something like that hopefully will not happen. Excellent point, Ava. because emotions can run high. I've never cried over a man before. Thank you, Namjoon. Okay, we'll have questions as in, let's see. Thank you so much for answering my question. Was someone laughing at me? I'm watching the replay. Someone was laughing at me. Okie dokes. Do we know how early they set up before the concert, and are there any other activities outside the stadium for Army before the concert? I think we'll get into that soon towards the end. So don't you worry. We'll get on to that. Let's see. Go ahead, Ava.
Okay, so unfortunately, when the tickets went on sale, Ticketmaster ran out of tickets for the general sale, so a lot of people missed out on tickets. So what advice would you give to the fans who unfortunately did not get one?
I mean, definitely I'm sorry, because that was, I've been ticketing for BTS since the beginning. And when I tell you that was the worst ticketing experience of my life, BTS or not BTS related, I genuinely mean it. So first, I'm sorry that was such a poop show for all of us. And I know nothing that I can say is going to make fans feel better, especially the ones that had tickets in our carts, and for some reason just Ticketmaster was like, no, you don't get this ticket anymore. But I mean, they'll have another concert. Like, I know that's not the answer that everyone wants to hear, but like, you will get your chance, you know. Like, I'm sure if these concerts go well, they'll come back with a new show and it'll be more planned out. I will say this, you definitely will not have more time, because they usually will announce tour and then tickets go on sale a month later. So will we get enough more time to like save money? No, I would say start saving your money now. But you know, it's hopefully we'll all get another chance to try and see them again.
Anything from you, Jackie, by chance, or kind of in line with what she had?
For sure. Sometimes it works out that way, you know, and sometimes towards the last minute, you know, somebody you know has a free ticket because somebody couldn't make it at the very end. That's actually, I think, how I ended up getting a ticket to MetLife at some point. I went through ticketing and I wasn't lucky enough and I didn't get a ticket. And then I think a week before it happened, someone called me and said, hey, I have an extra ticket. My friend bailed out on me. And I ended up going to MetLife that way. So, you know, keep eye out, you know, you'll get better.
I'm like, and I didn't get any tickets before. Everyone's like, oh, it must be so easy for her to say that because she has a ticket. I didn't get any tickets, like none. And it wasn't until my friend was like, hey, I managed to get a ticket, you know. So like, there was a point there where I wasn't going either. And I was just kind of like, oh, well, that's the fate that I've had to, you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles, not to sound like Bruce Almighty, but my age is showing right there. Sorry.
Nah, girl. But I hope I hope genuinely that soothes some people's hearts. I have never been to a tour where I didn't get GA. I had my, you know, my box VIP. I had the extra days, and I too did not get a single ticket out of my own doing. It was because of cool friends that I'll be going, thank goodness. But for those of you that, you know, are newer to the fandom and got tickets, I also don't think that you should feel bad about it.
Oh, yeah.
I know people like me and Imelda and Jackie might be a little disappointed because it didn't go the way that technically was supposed to go. But hey, if it worked out in your favor, who are we to be upset that you're going? Congratulations. But Ticketmaster, count your days.
You know, with so many, I'm just going to throw this out there in the universe, with so many amazing and smart and talented people in our fandom, I find it hard to believe that there isn't one out there who might possibly have an idea of how to create a better ticketing site, to have a better ticketing experience for people like us. You know, just to throw that out there in the universe. Whatever may happen, but
and might get in contact with US BTS ARMY and make it happen. You know,
you never, you know, whatever.
Wouldn't that be crazy.
Whatever happens, but I don't, hopefully, I'm like, well, we'll see.
Any transportation tips? It seems that people are having a hard time kind of arranging Uber and Lyft and things of the sort. Any advice?
Read up. I mean, I would say first and foremost is read up what the stadium's policy is on car shares, because some of them have designated areas, some of them don't really care, some of them you can't even do a ride share on the stadium grounds. It has to be off of them. Definitely read that up. Also, plan for if you're trying to Uber or ride or Lyft somewhere, plan on being there for a minute after the concert. Like one time after a show, it took me 2.5 hours to try and get an Uber, and then eventually we had to end up walking and taking the bus and the subway to be able to leave, because it was just a nightmare trying to get anyone to pick us up. So definitely, if Uber, Lyft, or any rideshare service is your only option, make sure you plan ahead for that. That's where the extra battery pack comes in, because if you're going to be taking pictures at the concert, your battery is going to die, and you're going to need that for when you need to get picked up. So, read what the policy is on rideshare for the stadium, make sure you have enough battery, and plan on being there for a minute. Or, see what the options are to walk outside of the stadium and maybe separate yourself a little from the traffic and see if that might help. So familiarize yourself with the location that the stadium is in and what's around it and the type of neighborhoods. I will say, for the most part, it is kind of, Inglewood is industrial-ish kind of, and like near the stadium and stuff. So just make sure you familiarize yourself with the area as well outside of the stadium. Google Map it, walk the streets on, Google Maps or however it does it. But yeah, definitely. You want to make sure that you have battery, that you're going to wait for a while, and your area.
Yeah, safety first. Your safety is the most important.
Absolutely.
No matter how long it takes you to get home.
Yeah. Keep in mind, there's going to be people that are highly aware that armies are showing up. These are people that are aware that you probably have money on you. These are people that know that would assume that a lot of us are just young women and vulnerable. Although I say be cautious, don't be too shy about asking somebody if they know what you can do. Maybe someone can wait with you. If you really feel like you need to stand near security for 3 hours for your safety, if that's what it costs for you to stay safe and still have a great experience, then so be it. I would imagine logging on Twitter, there'll be plenty of people giving tips and advice just in case something might be going down, so on and so forth. But it may seem daunting, but you still have time now to sit down and really take your time and plan it out. Don't try not to sit there and look at everything that you have to plan out before the concert comes. Just seriously take your time. So what may happen, and if it does happen, you're ready. Let's see. Wow, these are a lot of comments. Oh my God, you guys are like popular or something. Let's see. For fans attending their first BTS concert, what would you like them to know? Like, that's a pretty open question, because we just have so many questions that are specific that I'm sure that if I missed it, they'll definitely, I really invite everybody in the comments that if I missed your question, first of all, super sorry. Make sure you type it in the comments after the video is posted, and US BTS ARMY will for sure answer it for you. And if we can somehow contribute to answering questions, we'll do that for them too. But please make sure you ask that question. We want them answered for you. But regarding for fans attending their first BTS concert ever, what would you like them to know? This could be maybe regarding their fan chants. Ooh, fashion tips, please. Maybe you can assure people that there's no bad seat at this concert. They might have got the bloodiest of nosebleeds. What do you have to say?
There is no bad seat at a BTS show.
Nope.
Truly, there's not. I have been everywhere. and you're just lucky enough to be there. And I think in the age of technology, we all have phones and we're all trying to record or take a picture. You know, put your phone down for just a little bit and just kind of like take it in. You know, I have been very lucky to have seen Epiphany performed different times, and every time I put my phone down, even though I want to record it so bad, I put my phone down, or I had put my phone down and kind of like take it in and just look around. You know, look at all the lights and just kind of like feel. It's incredible.
Would you like to add anything?
I was going to say, to add to that, be careful how much you drink before the show starts. You don't want to, you know, if you, be careful how much you drink before the show starts. Make sure you try to go to the bathroom before it starts. And, you know, however this sounds, if you need to, you know, designate like a potty break song, like, you know, or designate a time of like, this, if I have to use the restroom, this is when I'll go. If you're going to buy merch and you're not going to have a car, make sure you plan ahead and you know you're going to be carrying your stuff the entire time. Sometimes stadiums do not have lockers or don't have anywhere where you can leave stuff that you've purchased. And they also have, you know, policies on the bag sizes that you can take into the stadium. So if you are going to buy merch and you're going to be there all day and don't have a car to put your stuff in, you know, plan ahead, know that you're going to carry your stuff, know that there isn't that much space in the seats. Maybe try and make some friends with people who drove there and see if they'll be nice enough to let you put your stuff in their car and meet up with them after.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, and genuinely, you know, it really is. You know, it's like I tell, even if you're going alone, you're gonna have the most amazing time. I have gone to so many concerts on my own and just had the best time. And you get to meet new people. You know, don't be scared to walk up to people and say like, "Hey, I'm here on my own and I'm new," and you know, introduce yourself and just say hi. And I'm trying to think of like practical stuff to tell you guys because it's always it's like the little
That's what the checklist
details.
is for.
Yeah, it's always the little.
I have a good one. Fiddle with your light stick before the show starts. While you still have sunlight. Put your batteries in, pair it, do what you have to do. So when the show starts, you're ready to go. I have made the mistake of trying to fiddle and trying to watch the show at the same time, and it just wasn't working.
Also, for the people sitting. Oh. Sorry, I think. Sorry, I thought I was like Ava was saying something. I didn't want to interrupt her.
No problem.
Like flying or something, and you're bringing your light stick.
Oh, you're breaking up, love. Maybe you can type it into the YouTube comments, just so when you can hop back on, and I'll make sure to mention it. Let's see. But you were saying something, Imelda, while we wait for Ava to hop back on?
Yeah, so what I was saying is for, you know, fashion, super important. I get it. We all want to have the best like concert day outfit. But I will say for the people sitting higher up, because I do believe it is an open stadium, I don't know if they have that access where they can close the roof or not. Make sure you take a sweater because it does get really cold up there. Like I've sat way up at the very top in the nosebleeds and it gets cold up there. So make sure you do take like a light sweater with you or just something for you to, you know, throw over yourself. In general, I would, you know, encourage, make sure you read up on the stadium's parking because I know sometimes fans like to be at the stadium all day, but the way that the parking is set up at SoFi, it's like split up of hours of when you can go in. So like you can go in at noon and you pay a certain price. You go in at 3 and you pay a certain price. You go in at 5 and you pay a certain price. So definitely make sure you do your research on the parking if you are driving as well and you know what time you want to be there. And, you know, buy your ticket ahead of time because it is more expensive if you wait for the day you go to the stadium. Take money for food. Food's going to be ridiculously expensive. So are drinks. So you want to make sure that you plan if like you're going to go to like a 5-star restaurant is probably what you're going to pay for like a hot dog and a bottle of water. So Make sure, and please, I'm going to say this because I've seen it happen so many times. So many fans get super excited that they forget to eat. And by the time the concert starts, they are like done because they forgot to eat. They didn't drink anything. Like, I had a friend once, like, literally, she got so sick from like the heat stroke and everything. She like threw up and almost passed out. So, like, make sure that you guys are taking care of yourself so you can enjoy the show. Eat something, drink something. Don't just get caught up in the hype and the excitement. If you have sound check, once you go through for sound check, because you get to go in before everybody else does. Once you get to go through sound check and they put you in the stadium, you can't leave the stadium. Like, you're in the stadium. So you are in there once sound check is over. You don't get to go back out onto the fields. So if you do have sound check, plan accordingly for that so that that you will be inside the stadium once they do allow you guys in and you can't go back out. So if you wanted to go put stuff in your car, make sure you do that way before they let you, they let you guys in and stuff like that.
Yeah, also, that was really good. I'm looking away because I'm writing stuff down. I figured that she might say things that aren't on the list online. So.
Yeah, it's things that you just pick up from having gone to so many different concerts. And if you're flying in, I think LA right now has a form like this, or the state of California. There is a form that you have to fill out if you are flying in from out of state and you are not a California resident. So if you guys don't know that already, please look up that form so that you can fill it out, because it'll make your arrival into the airport a lot easier as well. So that's a tip for people flying in if you're not a California resident.
Yeah. If you need to ask your parents to figure out the COVID rules and all that, go ahead and ask them.
Yeah.
It can be very confusing. I get it. So much for being the United States, but it seems like different states are different. But read up on that info. You really don't want to get there and everything kind of be out of whack. So that's an excellent point. There's, I managed to organize some of these questions. Oh, someone said an excellent tip. This is very important for me. I would imagine it's very important for everybody else too. Just a note, the SoFi is cash free for food.
Oh, well then.
I don't know if for merch too, but maybe consider borrowing a credit card if you ain't got one.
Oh honestly, I've been to a couple of stadiums that are cash free too, but then eventually you find yourself, especially for flying in, or like if you're coming in from out of town and don't live in the area or don't have a car, you find yourself needing cash desperately the night of a concert. So prepare for both. You always want to make sure you carry some cash on you just in case of something, because you never know. Like I've done that before where I had nothing on me and all I had was my card and no access to an ATM. So make sure you do plan for both eventualities just in case.
Okay. You know what, Ava, you want to ask about merch at the concert? Because the comments are just flooding. Everybody really wants to know about merch.
Yes, if my thing is working now. Let's see. For fans who want to buy merch at the concert, what tips
would you give?
Ooh, sunblock, first of all. You will be in that line for a while. You won't be the only one wanting to get merch. There will be thousands of people wanting to get merch. So you will be standing in a line for a while. You can make friends with the person next to you, but the sun is shining on you at all times. So sunblock, water. If you need to take a hat for whatever reason, make sure it's foldable so you can put it in your bag. Make a plan, hopefully once we get closer to the concert, Hive will release more information on what the merch is going to look like, what the lines. There have been concerts before where you can pre-order online and then pick up. So we'll see what this concert looks like. But if it's, my advice is, be prepared to be standing for a while.
I've been there where my beginning to concert time, I was there.
Yeah.
And I went for Namjoon's birthday, and like that's my bias. By the time I got to the front, everything was sold out for him.
That's one thing that I was gonna mention is, make sure you plan enough that you get there within enough time to get the merch that you want, because unless like you're within the first couple thousand people, there is a chance that some stuff that you might want does get sold out. And that's just how things work, is sometimes stuff gets sold out. So if there's something that you absolutely desperately really really want, then make sure you give yourself enough time to go to be able to get it, which is, again, I'll bring up, make sure you read up the SoFi, policies on when you can be there and how that's going to work. And like Jackie said, hopefully they do release information on whether they're going to have merch or not, because that's something we still don't really know yet. We don't know how this concert is going to work in the age of COVID, but hopefully they release information soon on the merch that they'll have. Like I said, remember that if you're going to buy merch and you don't have anywhere to put it, you're going to carry that stuff with you all day.
Yep.
All day. So make sure, and it does get tiring. Like if you are there from noon until midnight almost, because these concerts, can run up to 3-4 hours, like you're going to have to carry all of that stuff with you everywhere. So just, plan ahead for that as well.
Oh. You guys are kind of getting me excited about having to worry about all this stuff, because that's part of the experience, Like I'm here, look at me, my feet are swollen, the left side of my face is sunburned. I can't believe it. I'm doing it all over again.
And then your cheeks hurt because you've been smiling all day.
Yeah, and then they crack. Oh, you know what? Regarding it says for fans that want to buy merch at the concerts, what tips do you give? But yes, what tips do you give? We asked that, but now they're in okay. In the YouTube comments, a lot of people are also asking about soundcheck. Their first time soundcheck. Do you have any tips? For example, what is the best time to line up for soundcheck if needed?
Well, you'll definitely have to line up for sound check, like for sure they do. But the time that it starts is going to depend on, it really depends on when the stadium allows people to show up and be on the property. Because the sound checks that I've attended, it's, you get in line and it's kind of like on a first come first serve basis. So you go, you check in where you need to check in, they give you your lanyard and they tell you this is the line that you need to be in. And it is on a first come first serve basis. It doesn't matter. And this is based off of experience, and it might be different for this concert. So just, throwing that out there, the disclaimer real quick, it might work different, but the way that it has before is the day of the concert, you go, you check in with someone, they ask to see your ID, they give you your lanyard, they tell you this is the line, and then you get in line for sound check. So most of the time, people who have sound check, depending on what time you want to get in line and where you want to be, because the way that it works when you get through, once you've checked in and you've gotten in line and you've gone through security, because you do have to go through security because you're going into the stadium, you line up on the floor just according to where you are in line. And they kind of just start going in a snake-like pattern down the rows. So that is how it works. So wherever you are in line, it's not like they let you guys in and you get to pick wherever you stand. No, there's definitely a way that they align you guys, and they'll split you up between what sound check ticket you have, whether it's gold or silver. And then you'll be in the seats according to that. I'm like, am I missing anything, Jackie?
I would say, well, first of all, congratulations. It's going to be a fun experience. Like and then you get your lanyard and you're like so pumped up because you're special. It's awesome.
You just walk through, you ain't got to show off. People just know you went to sound check.
But I would say, if you have friends that do not have sound check, maybe one of the, some of them can be on merch line while you are standing in line for sound check. Because once you're in, there may be some merch inside. Some previous concerts have had merch inside, but I would make a plan. If you know people that are going, if you have friends, make a plan.
Oh, also, that's a good idea is if you and your friends are all going together, but you're split up, make sure that you guys come up with a location to meet before the
Yes.
concert, because time and time again, I've seen people's phones die and they don't have a backup charger and they need to meet up with their friends, but they don't know where. So make sure you have a set place and even if your phone's dead, we are going to meet here. With sound check too, they don't allow you to record. Like, you cannot
Right.
record sound check. Obviously, some people haven't been sneaky, but technically, you are not allowed to record during sound check. So
And
please
rumor
be
has it that the
aware.
boys don't like it. So.
Exactly. So please be aware. If you get caught recording, they will most likely kick you out, and there is your chance for enjoying the concert. So make sure they can be very. I mean, we can record during the concert. That's not a problem. But usually during the every sound check I've attended, they have had very, very strict rules about recording, and I've even seen a girl get kicked out. So make sure that you don't push it and you don't follow the rules, because they do have the security walking up and down those rows to make sure that no one has their phone out, to make sure no one's recording. So just, they will kick you out if they catch you recording during sound check. So just make sure that you are careful with that. But yeah, I'm like, sound check wise, just enjoy it, because it really is a lot of fun. Like, you get to see them
in sweatpants.
In sweatpants and a snapback. Like, they look like, they're not in full makeup. They're not fully dressed. They're in their regular everyday clothes, and they kind of just walk around and they're looking a little smug and they're like, yeah, hear my name. And like, it's cool and it's awesome, and just, enjoy it, because they usually do, I think it's 2 to 3 songs for sound check.
And it's boyfriend material in like 3D. Please enjoy it. Everybody that's going, I'm just living vicariously through you. I've only been to sound check once, because after that one time, it's always been a raffle. But my God, please let me feel your energy from outside.
Yeah. So just, But just, remember, like, plan ahead and follow the rules, because if not, you might not get to enjoy the full thing.
And straight up, it would be nobody else's fault but yours. Don't put yourself in that position. Yay, sweatpants! Woo! Thank you for that comment. I'm glad you guys
or jeans, but just regular. They look like regular everyday. And I'm gonna say this because I love. One of my favorite things is watching people see BTS for the first time in person, because then it's like that experience of seeing them in 3D, and you're like, it's an experience, because sometimes they don't look like you. We know what they look like, but when you see them in person for the first time, you're like, oh, he's skinnier than I thought. Oh, he's shorter than I thought. Oh, he's thicker, or he's taller. It's an experience to see them in person for the first time. So like,
and I pray for you all.
Enjoy that moment. Take it in, like be there to just be there in that moment for a second and be like, oh, it's like the first time I saw them in person, I was like, oh, wait, you're like a human being. You're not just an image. You're like a person, like a whole person.
We're breathing the same air.
Yeah.
Why am I gonna start crying? Like, you guys have no idea. They are so beautiful live. Like you know those pictures where like photographers try to be like, this is what they really look like. It's like, no, there's a reason you can't catch them slipping. And Taehyung is going to rip the soul out of your body, through your throat, and you're going to want to take it back in your eyeballs. Like, I don't know how to explain. Again, Namjoon stand here. Homeboy was across the stage, because where I'm standing is where Namjoon usually goes. Taehyung is all across, and I don't know why I spent 10 minutes just staring at that one. He is incredibly gorgeous. I cannot even explain it. Congratulations, sound check.
That is a common theme I have noticed, is when people see them in person for the first time, sometimes their bias changes, or sometimes their bias record changes. Like, because it really is different seeing them in person than it is, on a computer screen or on your phone or whatever. So like I have seen that happen where after people see them live, their bias might change, or they have a different bias wrecker, or they're just like,
Or they
oh,
add a new one.
or they add a new one,
You just
and
keep adding them.
yeah.
Oh my God. I want to throw up. I'm so excited for you guys who got soundcheck. You have no idea. It is such an achievement and a blessing for you to be at soundcheck. There is no way I can be angry at you guys. That is an Xbox One achievement. My goodness. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
Someone gave an excellent tip. I just want to throw it in there. For those of you that don't own a credit card, just remember that you can buy the refillable ones, maybe at a Walmart or a Target. Don't forget. You can do it that way. I'm afraid I'm just going to cry the entire time.
and that is perfectly understandable and totally okay. Just make sure your eyes are open so that while you're crying, you're still enjoying the show. Because I'm sure so many of us, so many people are going to cry, especially that first day. We've all, it's not to like sound spoiled or full of it or
do
anything,
it.
But it's a weird time because ever since BTS debuted, there has not been a year that they have not come to the US where I have seen them at least in concert once every single year since 2014. And that's not luck, that's irresponsibility, because let me tell you the amount of credit card debt that I have accumulated because of that. But regardless,
you're the reason I have a credit card.
It's been weird not seeing them the way that I'm used to seeing them. And we're also very lucky because not many Korean artists are allowed to tour the way that BTS is. So just, not having seen them for that long, and them as well, not having been able to have an in-person concert for a long time, this is going to be a really special moment for a lot of us. So just enjoy it. Whatever feelings you have to feel them, but just, enjoy the concert and just live in that moment because it's gonna be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited for everybody. I'm excited for everybody that hasn't seen them in 2 years. Oh my God. So let's just, I don't know how to say it in English. In Spanish, sigamos el hilo. Like let's following the same train of thought.
Yes.
I think that's the closest one I can get. How can fans make the most of this concert experience?
There isn't like a one-size-fits-all answer for this one. Everybody is going to enjoy the concert in whichever way they touches their heart, really. If be prepared, so that everything else that day is just enjoyable. Look around, take pictures. Yeah. Cry if you need to. We all will.
It's your concert. You should cry if you want to. All right.
Yeah. Like just be, just be in that moment and enjoy it. And like the boys have even said themselves sometimes that some of their favorite things is when they look down into the audience and they see that people are looking at them with their eyes and not with the cell phone in their face. So, just give yourself like some things where you're just like, I am going to fully live in this moment and not be on my phone recording it. Like I understand the want to have a memory of that, but just, allow yourself to be in that moment and enjoy that moment without your phone. And, you might be lucky enough and they look down and you get to make eye contact with one of them if you're that close. But if not, like it's an experience no matter where you sit, honestly, because even if you're up top and just seeing
so cool
people who have, and here's the thing, and this is what people who sit at the very, very top, the nosebleeds, and everyone's like, I have the worst seats, but you have such a unique experience to see all of it. You're not just looking at the stage back out, you're seeing all of it happen. And there's just something so beautiful about seeing the army bomb lights across the entire stadium and seeing all of these other people vibing who get it. They understand what it is you're going through in that moment. And to see BTS on that stage doing what they do so well and so beautifully, it's a unique experience to see it from that point. So, don't think that you're at a disadvantage because you're so far back or you're so high up. It's its own unique, wonderful, beautiful journey, honestly.
Absolutely beautifully said. And I guarantee you, if you're in the nosebleeds, they do such a good job every single concert to be like, those all the way to the top. They know that you probably want to be right in front of them. Probably. They know you want to be right in front of them. But they will absolutely make you feel like they are talking to each of you individually. I can't explain it. You'll just have to experience it. Those butterflies that you get watching them go live, and it feels like they're talking to you because they are talking to you as technically an individual, because they have us as one entity, army. You're gonna feel it at concert. I promise. Oh, look at this. I can't believe I'm gonna be a part of the Purple Ocean. Like, yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for you. I was there when we were doing army bombs with plastic bags.
Oh, yes. What an experience trying to coordinate what section you were in with the bag.
No, yeah, I had to be like, all right, who's sitting where? Ping, 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 ping. Don't, you over there. No changing colors. No.
It's okay, River Project, here we go.
Yes.
I love that.
They were so impressed, us in our little plastic bag.
And it was so pretty. Like, it looked so pretty. It was so pretty. And I'm sure they were surprised, and it was just it was such a beautiful moment.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and transition a little bit past concerts. Again, if I missed your questions, please be sure to leave them in the comments. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you. How has BTS been an inspiration for you? Tough question. I know. Take your time.
In
so many ways.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. I think for me personally, I want to make the world a better place. I want to take something and help people. I work in education, my full-time job besides US BTS ARMY. But I get a sense of satisfaction helping someone, a parent, a teacher, a student, a kid. So when I feel like I have made an imprint in this world and I have left it a better place than what was given to me, that's how I think BTS has inspired me. Besides their music and their concerts, and for me, it's their philanthropy. Their UNICEF collaboration with Love Myself, their project with the UN. For that, to me, has been take something that is amazing and spread it out even further. Yeah.
That's beautiful. What about you, Imelda?
There's like so much that I could say, and just my life has changed for the better just because I found BTS, and like, not to get cheesy or corny or anything, but just, I found them in a time in my life when I was really young and I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and I had no idea who I was. And it kind of felt like I was growing up right alongside with them. And granted, I'm older than all of them, anywhere from 2 to 7 years older. But it felt like I was growing right along with them. And, they led me to my passion and my career choice. And I've had the best experiences in the world because I went to go see them in concert in a different place, or, I've met the greatest friends that I've ever had in my life because of them. And it's just, I tell people all the time I'm very, very blessed to have been born in the time of Bangtan. Like genuinely, it kind of just feels like fate. And I love it. And I'm thankful that I get to be here for as long as I am allowed to be here.
That's so nice. Y'all better be crying in the comments. Give me some crying emojis, please. That's really nice, the both of you. Like, I think sometimes when people ask me this question, it tends to end up being there's that hope. Because, and I'm talking about you, for example. It started with them, me realizing that there are genuine people out there that don't have such selfish tendencies, because trust was hard for me. I naturally like to help people. And I'm sure there's been plenty of people that have that characteristic only for it to be abused. And it was very interesting to see this in 7 young men. And they also opened my eyes, because the people that follow them are people that are looking for that kind of characteristic too. So when I see armies being beautiful to the world, when I see armies such as you, Imelda, and you, Jackie, just proving that humanity is still full of amazing, kind-hearted people, I love being in this community. There's too much bad going on in the world, but being reminded that there are other people out there just like us who and BTS that simply want things to be better for the world and for individuals. I definitely want to continue trying. I definitely want to continue trying. So shout out to my army. What do you guys love about the army community?
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
We are amazing. We are a diverse group of people. Geographically, demographically, our ages, our nationalities, our languages, gosh, it's there, and there's so much that we learn from each other. We share so much with each other. There's truly a saying, that Army have, that, you find Bangtan when you need them the most. And once you're in it, it's an incredible ocean of other Army.
Just an abundance of love, right? Going with what you're saying, I'm not sure if your name is pronounced Maddie or Mady, but I would imagine it's Maddie, but just in case, Miss Maddie Hunt. She said, I lost my mom to COVID in 2020. I discovered BTS shortly after her passing. The song Life Goes On had just been released. BTS clicked something inside me. I can't turn my heart away from them. Just like you said. And again, for those that feel like they came in late, you'll find them when you need them. And we're very happy to have you here. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ms. Hunt. Truly appreciate it. You see, it's stuff like this. I know we started off with like goofing off a little bit at the beginning and we got our jokes, but obviously there's some depth to not only BTS, but their following as well. What is something that you wish more people knew about Army?
How diverse we are. I think, whenever, we read articles about Army, they put us in this tiny box, and it's, we're a whole storage container. There's so much. And it's not a crutch, it's a huge advantage. We're very resourceful. We're very, it's very smart, incredibly intelligent, incredibly compassionate. There's a ton of Army that do volunteer work and charity work. We help each other in need. I think that's very important. So I wish other, if from someone looking out, from someone on the outside looking in, I wish they would know that about us. There's so much.
Yeah, I mean, not to, because not to But yeah, like how Jackie said, it's one of the big reasons why we decided to become an official nonprofit was because we were tired of people not taking us seriously. You know, we are all of us who started this and who participate in it, we all come from different walks of life and different backgrounds. And you know, there are some highly educated people who are volunteers in our fan base and in the fandom as well. And a big reason of why we wanted to become an official nonprofit was because we were tired of people assuming that we were 12, 13 years old and were emailing us like, hey, can we talk to you guys? And, you know, do you have permission from your parents? It's like, you know, we're more than what people assume that we are. And that's definitely frustrating. And another reason of why we decided to start you know, because our one of the main purposes of our fan base is anonymity, and being anonymous, being a volunteer of US BTS Army, you are required to be anonymous because at the end of the day, it's not about me, it's not about Jackie, it's not about us, it's about BTS
Mhm.
and how we represent BTS as fans. And, you know, one of the reasons why we kind of changed that a little bit was because we wanted to clear up that misconception of like, you know, we're all just, you know, a bunch of teenage girls with nothing to do. And granted, that whole stereotype of a screaming teenage fangirl, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? Like, no one says that about teenage boys and racing or sports or football. So like there is nothing wrong with that trope of a teen fangirl because you know it's there's nothing wrong with that in general, but just you know continuously getting reduced to that and being like, oh, what do they know, they're kids. It's like, no, we're not. We are so much more than we are adults and we are professional, we are moms and we are dads and we're humans who just happen to appreciate a musical act for their wonderful musical ability and their talent. And that was a big reason of why we do what we do as well. Is, you know, we don't pretend to represent Army. That is not what we do ever. We do not represent Army. We do not speak for Army. We are just here to help Army. But if there is something that we can do with our platform to share our diversity as a fandom and to show everybody how amazing we truly are, then you know that's something that we try to do as well as we can, and we take you know not, I don't want to say take responsibility for, because that's not it, but we take what we do very seriously because it's very important. You know, at the end of the day, it's like Big Hit shared a long time ago. I don't remember what year it was, but they released an announcement where they said, remember Army, you are the face of BTS. And that is something that we take very seriously, because even if we're not, you know, like, spoiler, we are not affiliated with, connected to BTS, Big Hit, Hype. We have nothing to do with them. They have nothing to do with us. But regardless, we are still representing them as fans. And we try our best to take that to heart and do the best that we can with all of the work that we put out into the universe.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Keeping that thought in mind, maybe we can get a little specific to be encouraging for Miss Brianna. What advice do you give for armies who get hate from friends or family for liking BTS?
I would honestly say a bad word that I'm probably not allowed to say, so I'll PG it, but screw them. Honestly, we've all been there. We've all been there where people have made fun of us for liking BTS and being like, you know, I come from a traditional Hispanic household. And since the beginning, it has been continuous, you know, funny jokes of just like, oh, you know, you know, they look like girls and, you know, really ignorant things. And,
Correct.
and it really does come from a place of ignorance and they don't want to understand, but just what other people think doesn't matter. If you love them and you know that they are it for you and they speak to you and that they make you happy, who cares if people don't understand? Like, I feel sorry for the people who don't understand why I appreciate BTS so much, or why I love them so much, or why they mean what they mean to me. Like, that's their problem. You know, that's not your problem. And it does get hard. Absolutely, it gets hard continuously hearing these things. And sometimes it gets to the point where you just don't want to hear it and you don't want to deal with it. So you don't share it with people. And that's also totally fine. You are allowed to experience BTS as a fan however you want to experience BTS as a fan. If that is personally, if that is, you know, privately, publicly, that is your right. So you do it however you want to. If you don't feel like telling anyone because you don't want to explain it to them, that's absolutely okay. If you want to tell people to go to hell because they tell you you're weird, that's also your right to do that. You know, it's don't let other people ruin BTS for you.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to make a separate BTS Instagram account where I keep all my, you know, my BTS merchandise collecting, yada yada, and BTS love, you know, separate from my personal. You know, I'm a parent, I have a kid, you know, people will look at my Instagram and be like, well, this is not your kid. What's going on in your life? And then you'd have to explain it. It's like, stop judging me. I just want to BTS all day long, you know, without having to give an explanation as to what's, you know, what is going on. And that's okay, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Do your thing.
honestly, at some point, people get tired. If they notice that, you know, people pick on you and laugh at you because they want a reaction or because they don't understand it. But the more they do it, they see that you don't react, the more it's not fun for them anymore. You know, and it's that's what's happened with my family. And I'm at the point where I'm living my best BTS fan life, and they can have all the opinions they want, but I'm still going to concerts and enjoying Run episodes and watching and streaming their music. And, you know, that's you know, eventually people give up and just don't really, you know, they move on to other things.
Mm-hmm. Just to tag something on there, I too come from a Latinx household, but you know, it's just 2 weeks ago where someone found out that I'm going to this BTS concert, only to be told, "You're almost 30. Why haven't you grown up yet?" And what I say to you, Brianna, is you really don't have to explain something to somebody that you already know. You know BTS are good people. You know ARMY, for the most part, is not toxic because we ourselves work on making sure it stays that way. You yourself know that BTS encourages you not to have a toxic imagery of them. They encourage you to do what you need to do to follow your dreams. And simply put, you can't reason with the unreasonable. And you still have us here on the internet. You can't tell me that since you become an ARMY, you haven't found somebody that you've never met before and you feel totally at ease simply because they get it. So yeah, it would be nice to have that support in your home or in your friendship group. But something to keep in mind is that if friends, because family you can't really change, but with friends, if they're really wailing on you over your likes, if something else in the future comes around and they're gonna wail on that too, it's probably time to cut it. I'm not saying cut your ties because of BTS, but the least they can do is respect it. Mm-hmm. You know, I've been in the car where I listen to a little bit of everything, and all of a sudden the music stops, and you know, so the person driving, Danielle, do you want to listen to like K-pop or BTS or anything? And that's what a friend is. Maybe they're not into it, but at least they consider you. I've had people be like, I saw BTS on the news. You want to talk about it? You'll find those people eventually, even outside of ARMY. So you keep trying, but you shouldn't have to give yourself a heartache because mom or dad or your brother or your sister are giving you a hard time. Your friends are giving you a hard time. If you can stay at peace, you know, commenting under a YouTube channel, then so be it. It's okay, because you're not here to impress anybody. You're here to support BTS, just like Imelda said.
And you wear them over time. I think at first, yeah, my coworkers were like, "Oh, what's this? What's going on?" Or yeah, here I am with my BTS little, picket, be like, "Let me show you," and through the years, they're like, "Oh, I saw your boys on TV," and I'm like, "Oh my God, that's so awesome!" So it gets better.
Like, and you'll get tired of it too. I don't know when it started, but like my cover is Namjoon, and I'll have him face down, and someone's like, "Who's that?" Me. 0.3 seconds later, my boyfriend. Just... Shout out to the homie who really thought so. You think I can pull that? Word. I wish. Alrighty. So with that, is there anything else you'd like to share that you want more people to know, or more ARMY to know? This can be about the fandom. This can be about you guys' background, either as a whole or individually, or even something that we didn't mention but you'd like to bring up.
Ooh, we talked about a lot.
Didn't we? That's what you guys get for being a resource area.
I honestly, I would just, check the website, check our website. Even if you're not necessarily looking for something specifically, click around, poke around. You learn something new. It's awesome.
I'm like, to add to that, I would definitely, overall, the work that we do, it genuinely comes from a love for BTS and wanting to give back to our fandom. And like, none of it would be possible. And I tell people all the time, none of it would be possible without the amazing ARMY that we have in our fan base, who work and lose so much sleep over everything that we do. Every single thing that we do, we try to do our best at, and we try to be a great resource for fans, and as professional as humanly possible, because again, we, in some way, us as fans are, and I include ARMY, not just our fan base, but we are the face of BTS. So we genuinely take that to heart. And yeah, I'm very grateful and thankful that we are allowed to exist in this space. Because, we are here for ARMY at the end of the day, and we are here because they allow us to be here. Whether that is in a fan base context or not, we are here because they allow us to, and we want to make sure that we can be here for as long as we can, or as long as we're needed. And just, that wouldn't be possible without the amazing admins and volunteers that we have who have joined us, and the other ARMY as well, who always send us emails or DMs or replies, or just like, "Hey, have you guys checked this out? Or do you know this? Or can you help me with this?" And, it's just, and BTS themselves who keep doing what they do, that allow us to keep doing what we do. And, it's really great to be here, genuinely. I will always tell people the greatest time of my life was just the time that I spent with BTS and the fandom in general. So, yeah, it's kind of just thank you. I love telling that to people. Thank you for allowing us to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Also, I do want to, because I remember someone mentioned something about the banner and projects. Usually the way that the banner projects have worked for the past couple of years is the company themselves create a contest and have people submit banners, and then they pick some of their favorite, and then they have the fandom vote on what banners will be used for the shows. They haven't done that yet. We don't know if they're going to do that. Hopefully they do, because it would be nice. But usually the way the banner projects, anybody is allowed to submit a banner idea. The only thing is, if you are submitting it, then you are then responsible for getting the banners done. So you do have to pay for it if you submit a banner, But again, that is all done officially through Big Hit and Hype. We don't know if that's going to happen this year. A lot of people are planning projects, but I will remind anyone, you do technically have to have permission from the stadium to do any kind of project on their property, whether it is handing stuff out, setting something up. You do have to have permission. You do need to get that from the stadium. And usually the way it goes is the stadium gets that proposal and then they pass it over. Sometimes they approve it, sometimes they pass it over to the people who are putting on the concert and then they approve it or not. But I would remind people that if you are trying to plan a project or want to participate in a project, you need to get it approved. If it's a banner project, Hype is the one who usually does it and sets it up, and then we vote on it. If it's something else, I would try and get a hold of someone who works in the events department, or like management department of SoFi, and see if you can get your project approved, because that'll be really important. And that's the difference between you being able to be there and them coming and telling you you got to stop whatever it is that you're doing, or they'll kick you out. So just as a quick, because I just remembered that someone mentioned banner projects. So if you are working on one or want to, make sure that you get, and I would suggest looking at SoFi's directory and just emailing whoever you can, events managers, management, or stadium. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Like day-to-day operations manager and stuff like that. If they can't approve it, then they might be able to help you get or let you know what proper channels you need to get something approved.
That's right. Hello. Shout out to one of our Army aunties. Let's see. Oh, I lost you. Here we are. Auntie Fashion Schlub. I'm going to my first BTS concert at 61 years old and proud of it. As you should be, Queen.
As you should be.
Let me tell you something, and this is one of those core memories for me as a fan. I went to, and this was one of the moments where the fandom itself shocked me. I went to BTS's attendance it was in Vegas. I think it was the AMAs. I want to say it was the AMAs, or it was one of the award shows that they attended in Vegas, whichever, but it wasn't at the T-Mobile Center. It was in, I want to say, no, was it? I can't remember. It was an award show in Vegas. That's all I remember. But they were performing, and I remember, and this was, a couple of years ago, there was a woman who I met in line, and she saw my BTS picture on the back of my phone. She was like, "Oh, are you here for BTS too?" And we started talking. She was in her late 60s, so she's already in her 70s, and she was there specifically to see BTS.
That's awesome.
And she knew everything. She was like, "Did you see that they won a perfect all kill?" She was talking about the Korean charts, and she knew her stuff. And that genuinely, I knew there was older people in the fandom, but just having witnessed and experienced that, I remember thinking "Oh my God, this is so cool." She was just there for BTS. So 61 ain't nothing, ma'am. And you will have the time of your life. I do
For sure
suggest ibuprofen or Tylenol, though. And I speak from experience just because it can get exhausting and you're on your feet all day. So that's another good tip for everybody. If you guys can, make sure you take some, Tylenol, some Advil, some pain relievers, because your feet will hurt by the end of the day, because you're not going to want to sit in your seat during the concert. That's just the reality. You're going to be up on your feet the entire time, singing and dancing and jumping around.
Yes. Absolutely. You're going to be shaking something.
Uh-huh.
And please eat.
Yes,
you don't want to be the army that Taehyung sees vomit in front of him. Please.
Remember to eat and stay hydrated. That is also very, very important. Even if it's once, at least just get something in your system so that you're not running on empty the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do one of you pronounce Korean rather well, or Hangul? There's just a sweetheart in here. I think the way you pronounce this is Myun Chung. I don't understand everything, but I smile. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. She's speaking in Korean for the most part, but she's been trying to be supportive because I think she knows who you guys are.
Oh,
So that's
thank
sweet.
you. That's us trying to watch a run episode or an In the Soup episode. I don't understand everything, but I'll smile the whole
But
time.
smile or not, yes.
Well, I definitely want to give a giant thanks to all of you that decided to stay with us and watch this discussion. By far, a whole record. we're almost reaching 2 hours, but obviously there's plenty to discuss that we haven't even discussed yet. That's why I absolutely encourage you to go to their website. Everything is going to be linked under the YouTube channel, but there's plenty to learn and there's plenty of people to help you, including US BTS ARMY. So with that, something that I did, aside from saying a grand thank you to the both of you, you really have provided a bunch of information for us, absolutely, and resources, of course. I'm sure everyone in the comments that tuned in, you learned a lot, probably more than you did in school, which is absolutely okay. But I want to keep those of you in mind that for those of you that are still listening, is not to turn the tables on. Fave is a great app where you can actually meet fans going to the concert, where you can set up chats and organize meetups and planning. Fave will also be sharing some of these tips and also upcoming fan events. For example, me as the creator, I've been invited to December 1st with other TikTok creators and Instagram creators. For those of you that don't know, hi, I'm a creator from Instagram. But you guys are invited too. I don't know if you'll be there December 1st, but that's just one of the occasions where we're inviting armies that maybe aren't familiar with the area, don't know anybody, to just come meet and definitely feel like they're a part of something. Okay, Fave will be sharing all of those tips for you guys to attend. So you can either go to the app or make sure you stick around and look under the thing. And as time progresses, I'm sure you guys will just continue adding to your website. But with that, I definitely want to give you a super big thank you for your time. I know you stay busy aside from your BTS life. You have your own life. But I had a ton of fun. It seems like a lot of people in the comments had plenty of fun. So thank you for being two wonderful human beings that love BTS. I can't thank you guys enough.
No, thank you for having us.
For sure. Thank you for inviting us. This was a lot of fun, and we hope to continue being an awesome resource for ARMY out there. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you.
So be sure to check everything out as soon as possible. Thank you again for joining us, and we're gonna close this off. Bye, guys. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.